What's your biggest fail when it comes to online dating? Chatted with him a year by phone. Once we met, we had nothing to talk about and it was the most awkward encounter of my life. Matched with someone on a dating website, before Tinder. Got to talking. Seemed like a chill dude. Even though there were red flags, he insisted we were dating before we met and I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. Agreed to meet up with him at a cafe by work. Organized with my receptionist, she would ring me at an allotted time and tell me I had to come back to work. So I had an out. Met with a guy for coffee. It seemed well enough. Then my girl rang me. So I told him I had to get back. His response was, "I've got my work van here. Do you want to jump in the back and have a quickie?" I noped out of there and went back to work. A couple of months later he ended up coming into my work to see my boss. I made polite small talk with him, then when he left my boss called me into her office to ask how I knew him. Turned out he was married to my boss's niece and I dodged a ducking bullet. Oh man. The first time I contacted someone, it was via the Onion personals, which were really a thing in 2005. I just made fun of a band she said she liked. I wrote something like, "My only problem is that you are into band," she replied, as she should have. "My only problem is that the only thing you offer is a criticism." I still cringe. Not trying it sooner. At the end of the day, we're all just people looking to connect and share a Netflix account. Not being exciting or witty enough in the text game. In real life my expressions and demeanor saved me. Not so much online. Using Plenty of Fish, the free dating site. It was like the Netto of dating sites. I chatted briefly with one woman before telling her I was going out for a few drinks. Next day I checked my messages and she had sent some. It started with, "Why don't you come round to mine and get drunk together?" Progressing to, "Why are you ignoring me?" Then to, "I think you're gorgeous and we will be good together," and finally, "Don't you fucking ignore me." I sent her a message the next day to never contact me again. Putting all my eggs in one basket. Once I start a conversation with one person, I just stick with that person until I know it's not going to go anywhere. I can't deal with trying to remember stuff about 2+ people at the same time. I don't mind though if the person I'm talking to is talking to more than one person, as long as if we're on a date, they are not on the phone to them or mix us up. Went on a date with a girl from Tinder one time who told me that she found children very attractive. After that I stopped mentioning that I had a child on my profile, and took down the pic of me and my daughter, and just brought it up with the girls that I felt were likely to stick around after meeting in person. Not realizing how much can be lost in the absence of voice inflection and physical social cues. Getting hundreds of matches on Tinder but not going on a single date with someone I initially met from the app. Most of the fails are typical not super hot guy problems, almost no matches or messages. Depending on the site, the biggest fail in my ex. We spent 5 YRS together. I was super supportive of her, getting her on her feet in life. Covering expenses for the first 2 years until she stabilized. Helped her find her first job. Helped her through college. Helped her get her first job after college. Helped her with her first job after college. But then the moment I start struggling with money/finding a job, we moved across the country for the one she got. She kicks me out. I mean, I was struggling for a while. About a year. A month after she kicked me out, I managed to land a job. Good times. Making a profile, then never signing back, and even when I get an email notification that someone's interested. I met with this very attractive woman off upper middle class Tinder, Bumble. She was way hotter than me. At some point during the evening, she leans forward on her bar stool, narrows her eyes and goes, "I know there was some reason I swiped right on you." Because at this point she could not remember. Not realizing that the guys who look like they don't have much going on are normally the chill, kind, humble kind of guys I'm looking for. Just met the most amazing one. Also, anytime a guy says he is a nice guy, run. Getting a free trial of Tinder Gold, on an ACCTID had for at least 8 months in 3 main geographic locations, and proceeding to swipe right on every single one of the guys that had liked me. All to 500 of them. Nothing other than anecdotes, and thousands of messages has come of it yet. Oh, also, I did this at 9 p.m. the night before a huge college math exam. Procrastination at its finest. I end up befriending the girls I meet instead of dating them. To me, a girlfriend should be a friend too, but that doesn't work for most people, so I just have a lot of friends now. Which is all cool until you end up crushing after one of them who doesn't feel the same way about you. I thought I had a pretty sick pickup line, which was, "You're so cute you make a baby deer look like a pile of shit." Needless to say, I'm still single. Actually met a smart tall blonde girl on FB. Was smooth as hell and got her to go out with me. She was an hour late to our date, but showed up. Unfortunately, I got blackout drunk during that hour. Also lost a friend whose comment I met her on. I tried Tinder. Stopped when it was searching so wide it started showing me women in neighboring countries. Didn't get a single match, sad face. Agreeing to meet up with a guy whose profile said he was in prison for several years for a non-violent felony. High school me was still upid. Met an art student off Tinder and we went down to the river to smoke weed late one night. I was having a really good time and she was very sweet, funny, and chill up until this happened. We're sitting on a hill by a small road when a cop rolls by slowly. I start putting the weed away, and that's when this 411 glasses wearing, dyed hair having weeboo art student decides it's the perfect time to shout, "Fuck the police." What? I ask, wide-eyed and frantic. Yeah, all cops are pigs. Again. Yelling. Not screaming or anything, but she's loud enough and he's close enough to hear us if he had his window down, which I guess he did because he shined his flashlight on us. "What the duck are you trying to do?" I ask, literally in a ducking panic. "Did you know 40% of cops beat their wives?" "No." "Yeah dude. Cops are trash. I'm an anarcho-communist. Cops are completely unnecessary. TLDR anarcho-communist art student tries to kamikaze our lives. Guys keep wanting to come over to hang out. I live alone. Not comfortable having someone I never met over. It's a major turnoff for me. Therefore conversation ceases there. I was talking to a girl who mentioned that she was into photography and I asked her to send me some pics. She thought I was asking for nudes, so she deleted and blocked me. Dated a guy who was in a poli-sci PhD program, confirmed, who had a law degree, confirmed, but had left practice because he didn't enjoy it. Nope. Had been arrested for a federal hate crime as a neo-Nazi and was ineligible to practice. Thank God for Google. I tried Tinder for a while. After a month or so I contacted and was talking with this girl and things seemed to be going well. We had similar interests in music and movies. Similar sense of humor, etc. Eventually we were talking about hobbies and I casually mentioned I played Magic the Gathering. Immediately unliked. Like. She had time to receive the message. Click the menu and hit unlike. That fast. Girl sends one word message, "Hi." Okay. It's not easy starting a conversation. So no problem. I reply with a medium length message. I comment about some interesting hobby mentioned in her profile and ask for more details. I tell her about my day. Some other random stuff. Overall a good effort. The next day she replies, "Hi. How are you?" She was pretty. Not just online, but with dating in general. I always get ghosted or dropped for the same thing. Being honest and having a past, I get that red flags are a sign to be careful around a person. But it seems more like a point to cut off all contact immediately. A divorce, kids, or health issues seem to be a good enough reason to never talk to a person again for too many people. The back of my baseball card stats are pretty shitty. But that is just some of what I've been through. None of that is who I am as a person. But I don't feel like I ever get far enough along for anyone to have actually met me. Or maybe I really do just suck that much. When I connected Spotify my Bumble profile, and unbeknownst to me, 3 of my top 10 artists were the Wiggles, High Five and Blippi. Pretty sure I missed a few connections because of that. Assuming that the stupid OkCupid match percentages meant anything, I did a bunch of the questions and, being a person who believes in numbers and statistics, mostly attempted to chat up guys who were, apparently, 80 to 90% similar to me. 50 plus messages over a 8-month period and 3 unsuccessful dates. But it worked out in the end. I reached the Jane Goodall observing primate behavior level of not giving a duck. Saw a decently attractive man around my age, also. So many people try to get with you despite being 20 plus years older? With an interesting profile and a 70% match. And sent a question about his work. We're married now. I never tell them my height, and when they ask I just ignore them. I'm 57. It's funny to see some reactions of the women when they see me. I spent 6 months trying to get a lady to notice me on Grindr, but only had a bunch of dudes hitting me up. Didn't match with one single female. Being 58. Most women use the settings to weed me out before looking at my profile. God forbid that men can select under a certain weight. I've said this quote before on Reddit. Can't remember the source. Online dating will overinflate the ego of an average-looking woman and destroy the ego of an average-looking man. Met my wife through friends. Been married 10 years. Well, as of currently, all my online relationships in my life have inevitably ended. I am useless at talking to people IRL, so I've accepted being alone really. I hate this time of year because it reminds me of everything I don't have and other people take for granted. I know I should focus on the good, but it's hard. A guy that told me he didn't like drugs but mushrooms are okay because they are natural and that he takes them every other day. I should try them with him. They make life so much more fun, and to go on a techno party with him. Spending over $1,000 on gold memberships and boosts in the belief it might help me meet someone. Over a year of trying and all that money. And have only managed to get a handful of matches and not a single first date. Took a break from it but giving it another try at the moment, and so far the same result. I had a 4+ year relationship, and earlier this year, due to her being attracted to her new coworker and leaving me to explore a relationship with him, I was pretty broken up about it. But eventually started to realize it wasn't the end of the world. I was finally ready to dip my toe in the dating pool. I signed up for a couple apps and started swiping for the first time ever, which was pretty fun and exciting to try out. I got a match with a girl a few miles away, and sent her a message around 10 p.m. and went to sleep. The next morning I decided to check if she'd written back, and when I loaded the app I could see the little chat icon, and waited for the spin icon to stop and everything to load. When it did, her chat bubble disappeared. My first match ever. And the first girl I've spoken to romantically since my ex and I split up had unmatched me. All I could do was laugh and delete the app. Her husband. You have no idea how many neglected wives are out there online, and they love to omit the fact that they have husbands. Watch out for the MILFs.